Oh, crap. Hold on. Wait a second. Ah, crap. Hello. Can y'all hear me? I messed up. Hold on, let me start the camera. I messed up. Hold on. Wait. Wait a second. Go to properties here. Boom. Okay. Hello and welcome. Hello. There we go. Finally we got it fixed. We got it running. Welcome to the chat. Thank you for joining us. Yes, I can hear. That's right. MX Sound Music Group. What up? Oh, hold on. Let me switch over to multi-stream here. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much. Who followed recently? Jamie Sum 98. What up? On Facebook. What up, Cody? Long time no talk. I'm currently streaming on the Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitch, and I'm able to receive messages from all of it. So I'm doing good, my guy. How you been doing? MX Sound Music Group. Let's see if I can. I'm warming up my sounds real quick. I think I'm getting some sounds ready. Like my whole soundboard thing takes a moment to warm up. And also, let me turn down this music so you can actually hear me. Alrighty. Alright, so today we're gonna do some mixing live. I'm gonna do some mixing live. I'm also gonna be doing Q&A. I'm gonna start a song from scratch and just hang out and chat for a minute. You're actually driving. Well, then don't. What are you doing texting and driving? Don't do that. What up, Tony? Hey, I'm actually not doing mix feedback today. That's tomorrow. So on Thursdays I do just live mixing. So I have a mix that I need to do today. I was planning on doing it for the live stream. What up, Mama 112? Happy to be with y'all. I'm happy that you're here. Thanks for joining us. Alrighty, and I'm also live on Instagram as well, although I'm not really paying attention to the comments on Instagram. So, what up? Welcome. So I have some news. I fed my addiction this week. I relapsed this week, and I bought something. I actually bought a lot of things. I got a new keyboard. I'm talking computer keyboard. I got a new one. So this is pink, pastel pink based, which is dope. But my next one is actually going to be a pastel purple base. And I even got a lavender desk mat that's coming in as well. And I got some new lights for the studio for the live stream. So then now I can have a starry night going on behind me. So it'll be a little bit more interesting. Yeah, I got new keycaps, new switches. I got really nice switches. I got really nerdy stuff for the keyboard, just full-on custom kit. So I'm excited. I spent way too much money on it, but it's something I've been saving for a minute. So MX Sound Music Group, but all is well, my guy. I've been tapped in for a few months now. Your content is dope. Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate that, man. It's been tough to come up with content. And what up, Sam? So yeah, y'all wanna see the inspiration that I had? I'm gonna show you. I save posts on Instagram, I save posts on or pin stuff on my Pinterest. Which, by the way, Pinterest is way underrated. Can we talk about how underrated Pinterest is? Pinterest is so great. What up, Paddock on YouTube. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging out. All right, I got to show you some of these keyboards. These are just some inspiration. This is not what I got. This is just some keyboards here. I think this looks dope. Look at this one. All right, can we get 1 out of 10? 1 to 10. Is this a 1? Is this a 10? 10 being the highest. What are some of your, like, give me points here. We got some Japanese characters as well, so it looks a little bit busy, but with the accented, the black keys here, and this is an artisan key right here on a nice thick 10 keyless board with a coiled 10. Love the shape and the curly core. Okay. It's 10. What about this one? This is a new keycap. So we got the acrylic case, so it's a clear, frosted clear case with a metal top here. This is a 65% layout, and it's like gray blue, like aquatic. So this is called the Gmk Hammerhead Keycaps. The name of the keycaps here. What is this? 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10. And yes, I am nerdy. This is as nerdy as it gets. Like, hold on. Here, how about this one? That one's an 8. All right. How about this one? I think this was super cute. It's got a knob on it, and it looks like a small solar panel. But look at this cable. Even the cable matches. So the one and it's got the F row here. So you're looking at a TKL, a 10 keyless. This is dope, huh? Okay, this is the one that I'm making mine off of. I'm inspiring mine off of. So I got these keycaps. I got a full acrylic case, so it'll be like RGB coming through. And I got a full-on purple. I would show you just like, hold on. Check this out. This is what I actually, that's the one that I got. Check this out. So if I do like, here we go. This is the one that I got, except with the purple keycaps. The same. Oh, crap. Oh, what the heck? Oh, no, this dude's just building it. But this is the same exact one that I got. That dude's just literally just building it. Oh, here we go. Here, this is like the RGB demo. But this is the exact one I got with, so it's going to come out the left side here. And I got a really nice purple teal coiled cable. Again, the keycaps are going to be this one. But the cable, hold on. This is the actual cable. This is the cable that I got. It's a little bit different, but this is a white keyboard. I got a clear one, so it can do the RGB. But then I got this purple cable here coming out of the left-hand side. And with the accented blue. This was an expensive keyboard, to say the least. So that's kind of the inspiration here. I thought this one was dope. The off-white Virgil thing. Look at this. Any of y'all into keyboard? I met one of my, and oh, it's all Japanese too. Look at that. All the keycaps are in Japanese. Shifto. Control. Tabu. Alright, so these are all in Japanese, which is really cool. I think this is another like really sick layout. If it had a knob, this would be like 11. So the current keyboard that I got right now, this one here. Well, let me go back to my screen. This one here. Oh, crap. There goes my pen. Let me put my stuff down. We'll turn off the light on this one too, so you can actually like see it. So this one was actually really affordable. This is like a really great starter one. So this is called TK, like us. This is a 65% keyboard, so there's no F row and there's no number pad, and the arrow keys are in line with everything. So it's not like there's not a separate space. So this 65% keyboard style. And it's got like Japanese accents on it, so you can see like the enter key is like the koi, and the right shift says Tokyo Metro in Japanese characters, and then this one says like the shift key says Matsuri, which is like a festival Got some koi in the top, some katana. So yeah, this is dope. I've had this for a while. You can get this for without the custom, without making it all custom like I have. So like I kind of ripped it apart, desoldered everything, resoldered everything, and like kind of put it back together. I made it a little bit custom. You could buy it brand new without to customize it or for like, I think it's like $90 to $110 depending on where you buy it. Not too bad at all. And I just spent for the new one. I don't really like to talk about money like openly, but it's significantly more. And I've been saving up for it for a few months, and I've been waiting patiently. So I'm really, really excited for this next keyboard. Super excited. There's ooh. I'm like super into like this really, there's like really, I mean, I always talk about this. Like I have this really cool job. Well, not job, but I do really cool things for work. And you'd think that I'm a cool person, but like on the inside, I am literally just a manga reading, anime watching, keyboard loving nerd. Like straight up. I'm not, like I am a nerd, full through and through. Like, so it's just kind of funny. So that's my keyboard there. So one more time, and here's with the RGB, and it's actually technically wireless. So I just leave it plugged in, so it's constantly charging. So I don't have to like worry about that. But that's the RGB, and it has a bunch of different modes on it too. Like I can make it. You can kind of see it. And it's like a classic one. I like that one. It doesn't move, but I like the color codes. Oh, it looks like it's moving on a camera. It must be somehow like flashing or something like that. It's dope. Yeah, just... Oh, this one's dope. Like, it based off of that, like, taps and stuff. Welcome to Mixing Music Stream with DK, where we talk about keyboards. This is the reason why I'm into it, is because I was accidentally watching some, like, ASMR of some dude typing, and I thought it sounded, like, the keyboard just sounded so good and relaxing. And I wasn't even watching it on purpose. I didn't, like, type in keyboard ASMR. Like, I was watching some video about something else, and then it auto-played. When I wasn't paying attention, it auto-played into a keyboard ASMR video. And then since then, I just got hooked. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's like from the looks to the sound, something about it is like super calming and nostalgic. And then I just got really, really into it since then. What up? Now we cracking. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Okay, so getting back into it. I mean, I could talk about whatever we want to talk about, but let's today the plan is we're gonna mix another song by Caden. So an artist named Caden Corbett. He's dope. And yeah, we're gonna mix the song. Do y'all want to hear the song? Let me like pull it up. I haven't even downloaded it yet. Let me make sure that it's actually working. But during this stream, like these Thursday streams, this is all what we're doing with these streams. Seriously, it's super open. It's just crap. Hold on, I need to hit up Caden. Oh, let me hit up Caden. It's expired. All of the files are expired. Hold on, let me see. I might do a different one. Caden, I thought you knew. There's a couple songs by Caden. Damn, hold on. Let me see. Stems for... Or thought I knew. Okay. Sorry, I'm realizing that WeTransfer is he spent it via WeTransfer a long time ago, and they are expired, and I don't know if I have access to them otherwise. Let's see here. Thought you knew. Yeah, he didn't. Ah, damn. Did I download them before? Maybe I did. Sometimes I download these things like a long time before we actually... No, I didn't download them. Damn. There's but I'm gonna wait for him to pull up and send me these files. But we can look at some other mixes as well. There's always things to do. I promise there's always things to do. And ooh, you know what? Maybe in the meantime. Okay, we have a couple options here. Let's see. Hooligan sent me a new track too. So if y'all know Hooligan from previous streams. Ooh. We had a lot of cool songs as well. So this one's the one that's coming out. Oh, can I play this one? This is the one that's scheduled out. This song's coming out by an artist that we mixed. I think we mixed this one live stream like a couple months ago. So this one's coming out now.
Shut up, you heard what I said. No other way to spin it. I've been playing stupid. Now you're low in Monterey. Get in, we're going missing. Give you a chance to listen. You rarely show up, but when you do, you always manage to overstay. I never know what you told them. You've got some pride left to swallow. You stepped in front of my ambition and wonder why you're in my shadow. You better remind me of the reasons why I wait. If you don't knock some sense into me, it might be too late. And even now, I'm so fucking tired. I won't drag this on forever. That's just uninspired. Hold up, I figured something. I was never
So that one's dope. Sorry, I realized that the gate on my microphone wasn't on, so it was playing some of the music back. That one was dope. That one was really easy. We had another album come out. Y'all want to hear crazy? This is. I actually sang on this one. So this is a client of mine, and he does horns and stuff. But he's like, DK, can you also sing on this one? So I sang on this one, but I have a crazy note that I hit in this song. Wait, it's not this one. It's not this one. I don't think it's this one. No. I think it's this one. Is it this one? Yeah, here it is. Oh, here it is. Love is my religion. Love is my religion. Love is my religion. Love is my. Wanna hold it like tears that I'm feeling. Worship you, just let me Yeah, this is a great high note. Kind of like some, yeah, that was crazy. And then I could show you, I'm not really, okay, actually, hold on. This is dope. I can only show you so much because I'm not trying to risk a copyright strike, but I can show you the original version. This is down low. Keep this on the DL, but I have an original version of a song that I actually sold to a major label in China, and they released it. And hold on, I'm going to play the original song, and then I'm going to play what they released. And it's crazy. So here's the song that I wrote. This is like a year and a half ago that I wrote this song, and it finally like released. I'm going to play just the beginning.
You only got one life. One shot with a pop, it's gonna be a good night. Take a sip, then we didn't fast enough. Have a nice flight. You gotta live your life. You gotta live your life. You gotta live your life. Yeah, we going to the sunlight.
And Nels featured. Nels did the first verse.
Like we only got one night. Running every stoplight, superstar life. Got knowledge, gotta dig it up my hard drive. Talking about bars, yeah, I'm talking about keys. Talking about shots, yeah, I'm talking about trees. Ain't talking about balls, got you talking about D's. Drop 100 bottles and you know it's on me. Get them all and I got them in threes. One day, what you make in a week? My stew, got it filled up with fruit. What's life if you ain't living like me? You see life how we record it. You could tell everything important. Not posting on the ground to feel important. In case you forgot, cause you only got one life.
So that was the song. So I wrote that like a year and a half ago, all right? We sold it, and it became like the main single of this girl's album. Her name is Genzu, Xenzu. And listen to how it turned out, bro. I cannot believe that the lyrics that I wrote, the song that we wrote, is released. This is produced by my boy Mitch. Mitch Please with the grilled cheese. This is how it turned out. I'm only gonna play like the first hook. And that's Nelson's verse. Like, that's so crazy to me. Like, I wrote a freaking song that's sung and performed by somebody else that's signed to like a huge, like, well, a big like label in China. Like, what the heck? And they haven't even like really marketed it yet too. So I'm like, it's just crazy. Like, if I pull this up, watch this. I wonder if they changed it actually. Hold on. They spelled my name wrong, so I'm gonna have them change it. My bad. But they spelled my name wrong, so I'm gonna have them change it. But if you like go to this track and you do like show credits, my name is written by. Isn't that crazy? They spelled my name wrong. There's no R in my name. But I don't know. It's just kind of funny because as a mixer, I've never really thought I'd like songwrite for someone, which is kind of like funny. Like, why did I start songwriting as a mixer? What is a vocal? Okay, so hold on. There's a few questions here. Let me pull these questions up. Give me a second here. I have this really cool thing, this cool app that I use. It'll help us talk about these. All right, so correct this man's name. That's funny. Hold on, wait a second. Okay, let's start with this one. Did you talk about the master bus compression? Yes, I think so. There you go. Did I talk about the compression on the master bus? Yes. Sometimes I don't compress at all. Sometimes I compress quite a bit. And it's all by feel and it's all by ear. For this one specifically, I have no clue what I did. Because this is kind of like a demo mix. We didn't even like properly mix it down. Yeah, it's a demo mix. And with 808 heavy stuff, I'm not exactly sure. Like something small and fast usually. If I compress it at all. With 808 heavy stuff, sometimes it doesn't sound good with compression. So it's kind of back and forth. All right. Let's see. Hold on. That's your dream, Tony Function, to write for someone else? Dude, it's crazy. That it really does feel crazy, Kid in the Box. All right, Snowlow's ass. What vocal reverb would you recommend? Looking to buy one. I always heavily recommend Valhalla Vintage Verb. Valhalla Vintage Verb is like, it's pretty cheap. It's like $50, if that. And you can go on Splice and pay month to month to pay it off if you want to, instead of paying the $50 all up at once. That's like a really classic. It's super versatile. You can get a lot of sounds out of it. Valhalla Vintage Verb is the one that I recommend for sure. Yeah, and actually, if you go to my Twitch channel and you check out the clips, people have clipped when I was posting when I shared my presets. I have a couple presets that I've made, and I shared the settings to those presets in the clips of Twitch. So if you want to look into that, especially for like ad-libs, the ad-lib one is so good. And I stole that one from Nels. It's a little bit of a DK twist on a Nels reverb preset. Yeah, for sure. Nels is so good. I gotta see that. High pass and low pass filter you commonly use for reverb, for vocals specifically. I just make sure at least I do a high pass. I don't want anything really below like 200 hertz most of the time. And I do EQ on the reverb for sure. Like almost always EQ the reverb just a touch. Because reverbs do like clash with the actual dry stems, like with the actual stems a lot. And so I think that it's important to make sure that if needed to EQ the reverb just a touch, so the reverb will actually fit into the song a little bit better instead of just muddying up it. Like, because oftentimes if there's a lot of clashing frequencies from the reverb, it'll just muddy up the mix. So if you actually EQ out some of the clashing frequencies in the reverb or in the effects, it'll kind of open it up. So like one idea, hold on. One idea for that specifically is, for example, if you have a vocal that has a lot of 3K, then in the reverb I'd cut the 3K and add like some 1 to 2K or something like that. Where like, or frequencies that are like, and the vocals just don't have a lot of like 1 or 2K, then I would boost some 1 to 2K in the reverb and cut out the 3K in the vocal in the reverb. So that way the vocal and the reverb will sit nicely. Except oftentimes it's not just the vocals, it's also with the track as well. Like with the instrumental, sometimes the instrumental is just clashing a lot with the reverb as well. So like the track that I've been working on in the last few streams, I'll play it briefly. It's coming out in a couple weeks, in next week, I think. But in this song, this song was clashing a lot with the reverb, so I had to do a lot of reverb cuts and boost. So that one was like an example of just lots of instruments. There's over 100 tracks and lots of instruments, and like it was really great to kind of blend the reverb and EQ the reverb around so it like actually fits into the track. That's like super important. All right, hold on. It's in the clips. Yeah, so the presets for the reverbs are in my clips. So if you go to Twitch and do like clips or like save videos or whatever, people have clipped them, I'm pretty sure. I think I clipped them myself too. How many layers of vocals do you tend to use? On personal tracks, I can pull up a personal one, and I can show you exactly what I'm doing. Like, hold on, let me actually, literally, I will pull up a personal session here. Actually, that might be a good idea. Here, I'm going to do this one. Is it cool if we go over this one here? I haven't fully, like, it's basically mixed down, but here, I'm going to play the demo. I'm going to use the bathroom. I'm going to play this demo, and then I'm going to pull up this session and talk about stacks and reverbs and different things that I did for my own music. So this is a song that has not released, I'm hoping to use it for some sort of like sync stuff, put it on some sort of TV commercial, movie commercial, or like end credits type stuff. But here's this one. I'm going to play it while I'm using the restroom.
Working hard for my money, no excuses, just running. Tell me everything I need, I'll find it. Puzzle pieces, separate from weakness. I'll do everything I need to find it. chasing for that freedom. I trust myself and that's freeing. Looking back keeps me from moving.
So I'm going to pull up the session. We can actually take a look at it. All right. Do you commonly use low pass for reverb? Yeah, I usually sometimes do. I just, whatever the presets are. I actually don't pay attention too much to it. But yeah, sometimes the reverb is a little bit too bright. You compress before or after the reverb? Before. Usually the reverb is a send, so it's not getting compressed at all. Other than for like mix bus compression or anything like that. Yeah, so vocals are flowy. This is the background. Vocals are flowy. Okay, sweet. Yeah, definitely. In fact, I could use more auto-tune on the vocals too. Auto-tune is honestly, it's like a flavor thing. It truly is like a flavor thing. And auto-tune doesn't work well unless you're a good singer anyway. And also, auto-tune, in my opinion, sounds way better than Melodyne. So if you're going to fix your vocals, I would recommend auto-tune. And yes, I may be sponsored by auto-tune, but still, what I say is true DK's thoughts. All right, I'm pulling up the session right now. Let me just bring this up. Crap, I keep pressing the wrong button. I keep clicking the wrong button. Anyway, what up, Lige? Lige really likes that song specifically, which is kind of funny. All right, here it is. It's coming up. Best vocal comp. Okay, that is great ad-libs, true. Best vocal comp, I use C2 and Arvox. Arvox is dope. C2 is dope. Actually, I don't think I've ever used C2. Recently, I actually did a whole podcast episode and YouTube video about my favorite vocal bus compressors right now, or at least what I'm using right now. If you want to look into that, you can just type in, and it's the latest episode that just came out, or YouTube, if you want to watch the YouTube video, where I talk about my favorite vocal compressors, but the one that I'm using the most right now, and I don't think I use it on this session because this is a slightly older session, the one that I've been using the most recently easily is this track. This one. The Magic Death Eye. This is a very mute type compression, like kind of Fairchild-esque. And it's got like a punch mode. This is this is my favorite go-to vocal compressor right now. And also like the UAD, the Fairchild 670 from UAD, but like not the new one. Not the new one. That's very important. The old legacy version, the one that comes free with any UAD gear. The old legacy version has a magical mid-range that I really, really like. I think that's great. And then I have one of my personal secret weapons, and I say it's secret, but it's not really a secret at all because I talk about it all the time. In my desk here, in my little rack unit, I have a clone of a CLA2A. Sorry, of an LA2A. So it's the golden, and I've talked about this so many times. Comp 2A. It's only like $500, $600. It's brand new at $600. So it's really cheap. And it's in a half rack format. I have two of these. And it is literally that good. I've shot this out with actual LA2As, both new and vintage. And sometimes it beats it out of the water. Like, not everything, not every time, but like a lot of times it was just as good, and more importantly, it was often better. I preferred it more than the actual LA2A, which is wild. And it's such a good compressor, and its tube, and it just, the way that it actually changes the tone. So if anything is like really, I don't know how to say, but like digitally bright and mid-rangey, that just kind of like smooths it out. It really does. It kind of adds this, like, it calms down like the upper mid-range, and then it smoothly adds some top end, and it adds this like really thick low end, that tubey thick low end that I just love so much. Okay, so here's that track. We have vocals here, and then backing vocals. So let's check this out. and we'll kind of start with. Here's just the beat. I'm gonna solo out the beat. Yeah, so in Studio B at my studio at In the Mix, which you can find more information about at the studios. Okay, yeah. So In the Mix Studios in Studio B. So in the second room, the smaller room that we have this. So we have an API 512 preamp going into the Golden Age, and that's our tracking chain. And then we have the Warm Audio C800G clone that just came out. We've been testing that out. It actually sounds pretty good. But most of the time we use Loughton Audio stuff like this microphone because we are endorsed by Loughton Audio, and they make really great microphones. But this, even for tracking, we do use that for sure. But I rarely go out of the box. Like, it takes me a lot to go out of the box to use that. I still am keeping it because it's cheap enough and I'm not really losing money on it. But I don't really use it that often, but when I do, it sounds amazing. It's like a specific time and day that I like use them for sure. Okay. Let's go into this track a bit more. Let's go into the vocals a touch. So here's the one stack. I'm going to play a couple of these stacks. So let's go into this one here. Let's just. So I'll tell you what I do, and then I'll tell you what Chris Brown does. So Chris Brown does 3 each stack. So he triples each stack. So left, right, and center, or at least that's kind of the idea. The mixer, TZO might actually pick and choose. So I've talked to him about this. He might actually pick and choose. He might not use some of them. He might delete some of them. He might mute some of them. But he'll always record at least 3 for each thing. So like, check this out. When I do this, I personally only do 2 because I don't even use the mid signal. Like, I hard pan everything left and right. And these are always different takes. I think this is kind of like some basic information, but this is super important. You never, ever, ever just duplicate and pan it to the other direction, or it'll just be mono at that point. So always just re-record it yourself. Like, re-record each take. I have a recommendation for you, stereo imaging. Check out the Stereo Widener by JST. In my opinion, better than Isotope Imager 2. Yeah, I'm going to have to check it out. I actually have a bunch of different imagers, and they all sound different, and I like them a lot. I actually don't really use the Imager 2. I use the original Imager. I don't like the Imager 2 as much. And if I do use Imager 2, I'm actually using the first Style 1. I'm not using Style 2, which is the default. Hella layers. Okay. And this is actually not too many layers. So this is actually, as far as like big layering, like for artists that do a lot of layering, this is actually not that many. This is, I would say, like when I was working with Trey Songz, we did about this many layers for him for backing vocals as well. So he was about this range. Chris Brown does a lot more. Some artists do a lot more. Some people do a lot less. Actually, I'll show you something that Trey Songz taught me when I was working with him. But here's all the layers. Here's that, all of them together. So one of the things that Trey Songz taught me was he would have me layer stuff, and like, this is a good example of like, there's a format. Wanna na na, right? That's the rhythm. And this one has like, yeah. Like the rhythms are pretty similar. There's a couple of the vocal tracks that like change and a different timing than the other ones. One of the things, I wonder if I did it for this track. I think I did. Okay, maybe I didn't do it for this one. Okay, maybe I didn't do it for this one. I've done it for a few other tracks, but what he does is he layers a few that are like in the same pattern, and then he'll like stop, like not listening. He doesn't stop listening to the other ones. Like he'll keep playing the other takes, but he'll just like throw in random rhythm. So like one that he might add to like this one. Like I'm gonna sing on top of it, which I know is gonna it's like side chaining and compressing it, but like like whatever, like yeah, like he'll like do something totally different, and then he'll stack a bunch of things that are like totally different, and it'll sound way freaking cool actually. And like he'll even go like past it, like, and it was like I've done that a bunch of times where like, yo, just keep going. It doesn't matter. Don't worry about getting the harmony exactly right and hitting different notes on each like you know how like when we're like doing stacks and doing harmonies for different things, like we don't want to hit the same note. So like every note, every ship, like all the different layers are trying to hit different notes. But don't like when he did it, don't care about it. Like some of the notes will hit at the same time. It'll be unison at times, but just like rhythms and just stay in the key and just make it be huge. And that sounded so dope. Yeah, yeah. For real, like, yeah, I'm a big fan of Sevens. So, hold on. So, Tony says for Breezy, hold on. Can I see the EQ? Can I see the EQ for your reverb? This one, I didn't do an EQ for the reverb. There's a little bit of dampening here. Low cut from around 400-ish, 8,000, 8K. This one, I guess it just fit nicely. And this wasn't like a full proper mix. This is me just like demo mixing really, really fast to just get things through. Here's an EQ. It looks like I EQ'd some 500, 600 out of this one. I don't know what this is going to, though. What is Reverb 3? Oh, that's for the background vocals. Okay. Here's what kind of muddies up the vocals a touch. We've been boozled. No verb EQ after I just talked about it. Yeah, this is my go-to for like slapback delay, or to be honest, a lot of different delays other than like Echo Bird. I use Echo Boy a lot, and I use H delay too. I do like H delay. Okay, so there's that, and so together with the vocals, let me pull this in. So here it is.
Everything in puzzle pieces. Separate from weakness. I'll do everything I need to find it. Everything fits so perfectly. I love myself effortlessly. I found it. You know I found it. I found me. Working hard so earnestly. Done running from uncertainty. I found it. You know I found it. I found me. No more chasing for that freedom. I trust.
Yeah, with the difference between delays, it's not a quality difference as much as it is like, what does quality mean, right? It's more about like a tonal difference. And there's like a few functional things. Like I think like H delay is honestly just faster to set up for like ping pong type stuff. Ping pong delays, like left and right bouncing delays. Like H delay is just really consistent and easy to set up. It's also got like a cool warble with the lo-fi setting, and you can also flip the phase, so it's like functional as well. It's never, usually with plugins that I prefer, it's never usually a quality thing. It's more about tonal differences and ease of use. That's what it comes down to, like different things that I use it for. And so, for example, like the Comeback Kid, which is a really great delay, I think it sounds really great for slapback and so for some quarter or eighth note delay type stuff. And it's got a lot of different effects and modulations built in, which is really dope. I just don't like the algorithm for its feedback too much. like the way that it like repeats the delays, it just like cuts out too fast. H delay has a really nice like consistent echo where it like consistently gets quieter in volume depending on what you set it for the feedback. Echo Boy is really dope. It's got some really cool sounds, lots of versatility here. The only reason why I don't use this more is because there's just way more knobs than I want to. I could just use presets, but like compared to like H delay, you don't even touch this section. All you have to do is just turn analog off. If you want to low pass, high pass it, that's it. You're done. And then maybe the dry wet knob if you're putting it directly on there. Ping pong. Boom. So it's just like really, and then you have a tap on as well. So if you want to tap the delay and the speed. So it's more like functional than anything else. Like the reason why I use Pro Q3 and why so many people use Pro Q3 is not because of the tone actually. This is 100% functionality, not because of tone. This doesn't sound better or worse than any EQ that you've ever used. It's literally just function. I have dynamic EQ. In fact, this EQ straight up is kind of boring. Like it doesn't sound special at all. And it's honestly just because I can hold down command, I could do this. It's got a bunch of different, like, I can do like a tilt that way. You know what I'm saying? I can do like a straight tilt as well. I can do notches. I can do, and then again, like I can, using my mouse, I can, you know, change it up. Different low pass with different resonances. Like it's got everything that you would ever need. It's got analyzers. You can do comparison, EQ comparison, so it shows you what's clashing with it. It's got this built-in auto EQ, so it's more like functionality. This EQ doesn't sound special at all, for sure. Is there a big okay? Sounds like Kanye. Any saturation plugins you would recommend? I mainly use Saturn 2 and saturation now, but I want to switch it up. Yeah. There's a lot, and it totally depends on what you want to use. The ones that I use a lot recently for saturation, I think this is a classic one, the Vertigo. This is Plugin Alliance. I do recommend like the $10 or $15 mix and master bundle from Plugin Alliance. You don't need to do the $25 all for everything if you're not a producer. But this is really dope. You have odd and even harmonic saturation. I really like the Isotope vintage tape. That's another good one too. A free one is the new Mellow. Here, I'm gonna put these saturations on the mix bus so we can hear it together. So like one that I've been using a lot recently is. Let me unsolo everything. This is a free one. I don't know if it's still free. I think it's still free. But by Arturia, check this one out. This sounds actually really great. I'm not using it for anything else. Although this sounds great too. I'm going to show you why it sounds great in a second. But just listen to this drive. A volume match. And the warble and stuff here, this is really cool. So if you turn on stereo width, it does the flutter will change left and right. So instead of, here's like a single flutter the way it's supposed to be. And like here's the wow normally. If you use stereo width, if you click this button, I'll read the description. Slightly offsets left and right wow and flutter rates to widen the stereo image. So check this out. Isn't that so cool? That's actually really, really cool. In fact, I like that as a stereo widener. Like just a touch of flutter on the vocal. On the lead vocal, that sounds great. Like, that sounds really wide. I like that. What up, first time viewer from the first time chat from viewer 2 Queen Studio. What up? Do you know the difference between the natural phase and the linear phase options on the bottom of Pro Q? Yes. So linear phase versus natural phase is totally. Let me show you here. And I'm going to pull up a YouTube video. This is going to better explain what linear phase does and the downsides of linear phase. So with EQ, with any sort of EQ, we have a phase, right, where the waveform goes up and down, up and down, up and down. If you change the signal with an EQ, and any sort of change to an original signal is a form of distortion. So technically, you're adding distortion, right? You're distorting the signal. You're changing the original signal. Any sort of change is going to slightly change the up and down curvature, the phase of the signal. So if I zoom in, and right, so you can see on this track, for example, you can see the up and down. How the waveform goes like up and down, right? So if I add more top end or cut out the low end, it's going to change the shape of this. Because when it comes to tone, like pitch, so the higher pitch things are, the tighter the waveforms are going to be. And the lower pitch things are, the longer the waveforms are going to be. So if I cut out the low end, it's going to make it shorter. It's going to change how it looks. Linear phase... Anyway, that's just one of the ways. So linear phase, so natural phase means that it changes the phase, right? According to the way that's best, like that's normal. Linear phase is, it tries its very best to not change the EQ at all. So it compensates. But there's a problem with linear phase. Check this out. I'm going to pull up a video here that is going to be super useful, actually. I show this to the interns all the time. Let me show you. Okay, this is actually a really great example. Okay, clear example. Here it is. This is the one I use. Check this out. Watch this. So there's something that linear fades. So usually, like mastering engineers will sometimes use linear phase, but they're very careful with it, especially in the low end, because linear phase sounds great in the top end. It can sound great. Although the difference is really minimal. I'm not going to lie to you. The difference is pretty minimal. But it's not very good for the low end, and I'll show you why. So to kind of put it in a sense, I don't know why, the technical reason why it does this, but linear phase will actually... So hold on, let me feature the chat. The linear phase will actually add what's called pre-ringing to the low end. So that'll make... So I'll show you what... This is an example of pre-ringing. So with everything else, it goes wah, wah, but in the linear phase, before the kick hits, wah, wah, like it kind of before it actually hits, it adds that sound, that tone before. So that's called pre-ringing. With the zero latency and in the natural phase, it'll be at the same time, wah, 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 but pre-ringing, wah, you'll hear it. So one more time, I'll play it again. Yeah. That was like a super clear example of pre-ringing. Why is sound like this? Good question. Good question. Yeah, I can see these guys very okay, sounds really I'm gonna buy that. Talking about the mellow. You know the difference between natural phase and the linear phase? Yeah. It's a good movement. Okay. I'm gonna go back to let me do this. Any saturation plugins. Okay, so going back to the saturation here. Let's go back to some saturation here. I think the vintage tape sounds really dope on like mix bus type duties from Ozone. I mean, I usually leave it on 30 for like master bus duties. You could do 15 too, depending on like the tone.
myself effortlessly. I found it. You know I found it. Working hard so earnestly, down running from uncertainty. I found it. You know I found it. It fits so perfectly. I love myself effortlessly. I found it. You know I found it. Working hard so earnestly, down running from uncertainty. I found it.
The 30 speed just preserves a lot more of that top end. Okay, here's another one that I use. I use a lot of saturation. Even the compressors that I use add a sense of saturation. So check this out. So here's the Magic Death Eye, but here's a stereo buff version where you can actually change the amount of saturation you want. So check this out. I'm going to drive this pretty hard. Okay, check this out. Right here. This is the saturation on this.
Working hard so earnestly, down running from uncertainty. I found it. No, I found it. I found me. Everything fits so perfectly. I love myself effortlessly.
Clean. Listen to the top end. That's where the biggest difference is. There's also like saturation compression going on, but
Working hard so earnestly, down running from uncertainty. I found it. No, I found it. I found me.
like it kind of muddies up the low mids, and it kind of, what it does is because of the compression, the saturation compression, it's actually making the kick drum hit a little bit less hard.
Everything fits so perfectly. I love myself effortlessly. I found it. You know I found it. Working hard so earnestly.
So a touch of this sounds good because it kind of compresses it, glues it together. But obvious, another saturator that I use all the time. You see me using this one all the time. This is Spectre by Waves Lab. It looks like an EQ, but it's not. So you can only boost, you can't cut. It's adding. Here, I'll do it 100% wet. It's literally just adding saturation. So here's tube. You have a bunch of different solid state saturation, tape saturation. I leave the top end stuff on tube, and I have this one band here that's tape. That's my personal preset. And then if you disable de-emphasis, de-emphasis will also add actual like dry signal as well. But if I turn it on de-emphasis, it's literally adding just saturation. So if I go back,
I love myself effortlessly. I found it. You know I found
it's saturating those specific frequencies. So it's a really flexible saturator.
everything fits so perfectly. I love myself effortlessly. I found it.
And a little goes a long way. So with this one, if I do use it,
Everything fits so perfectly. I love myself effortlessly. I found it. You know I found it. Working hard so earnestly, down running from uncertainty.
that really makes the vocals come out a lot. All right, what's another one that I use a lot? Any of the stuff from... I use a lot of saturation via like compressors. Just like analog modeling compressors. I use a lot of saturation from those. The Omegas are really cool. I need to use them more actually from Kush Audio. Kush Audio has some of the best. This is actually one of my favorites too. In the... Is it Bliss? The EQ? It's like mastering grade EQ. I think the EQ sounds fine. That's fine. I think the saturator sounds dope. Check this out.
Everything fits so perfectly. I love myself effortlessly. I found it. You know I found it. Working hard so earnestly, down running from uncertainty.
I think that's like one of the coolest like master bus saturator sounds. Kush does such a good job with their saturation algorithms. Novotron has like really cool saturation as well. It just really thickens it up.
Everything fits so perfectly. I love myself effortlessly. I found it. You know I found it. Working hard so earnestly, down running from uncertainty. I found it. You know I found it.
Like transformer based saturation. Their Silica has really dope saturation. Silica is really great for like clipping things. This is kind of their version of the Abbey Roads Zener limiter type stuff. So they have the Zener and the germanium different. And it clips it, so it's really great for like dynamic control if you just don't want like it's a full-on clipper. So like for aggressive type stuff, really like that. Yeah, most of my saturation actually comes in from some sort of like compression, now that I think about it. And except for the Vertigo, I do like the Vertigo a lot. I use the Waves, the Spectre from Waves Factory a lot. Like I use that like a lot, probably the most of everyone. Actually the Waves, all of these are dope. Oxford Inflator sounds really dope. Oxford Inflator, so this is like a saturator / compressor / EQ. The point of this, it does the thing. Oh, I forgot about that. My inflator, I need to re-download my inflator. It like makes my Pro Tools crash. That's why I haven't been using it very often. All right, but yeah, I use a lot of compression via or saturation via other things, not just straight up saturation. You know what I don't have yet? I don't have RC20. I don't have RC20, which is kind of funny. I guess it's not funny at all. No, I don't have RC20 for some reason. And let's see. Someone told me, let's answer some more of your questions here. Why you sound like this? Oh wow, thank you, 2 Queen Studios. Someone told me to use it. Wait, someone told you to use what? So I must have missed that. I didn't read that when I probably said something which told you to say. Someone told me to use it. I mean, it does solve a problem. The linear phase. Yeah, no, people do use it, and a lot of people do recommend it. It's specifically the low end. The pre-ringing stuff doesn't happen in the top end as much. In fact, it doesn't really happen at all. It's too fast. So don't worry about that. But I would recommend not using linear phase on low end. I mean, it was pretty minimal. The difference was minimal. So practically speaking, it's very, very minimal. But yeah, I would avoid using linear phase. But there are a lot of EQs. For example, Moog. Any of the Moog EQs are built in linear phase. And they sound dope. Okay. All color palettes. There it is. I'm demoing the Spectre and Arturia now. Thanks. Yeah, for sure. Is the Arturia one still free, or does it look like they stopped the free thing? The linear phase instead of the natural. Gotcha. Okay. Bless morning, G. How's the monitor search going? Excited with the Strauss? Yep, I'm still on the Strauss. I actually spent a lot of time kind of doing some personal EQ moves. Kind of emulate. One thing I'll show you. I think we were talking about EQing on. So I finally added. One of the things I did recently, I finally added SonarWorks to the NF3. So here's my SonarWorks curve. But I have a custom curve that makes it a little bit more ATC-esque tonally by adding just a touch of 200 hertz, like 2.5 dBs of 200 hertz, like wide bell. This makes it feel a lot more tonally like the ATCs. Like a lot more tonally than the ATCs, except the mid-range and top end is significantly better than the ATCs, which I think the mid-range, the upper mid-range of the ATC is its weakest spot. I'm not going to lie to you. It's $100. Okay. If it's $100, I don't really recommend the mellow tape thing. I really, really recommended it when it was free, but if it's $100, there's so many other better plugins that do $100. That would be more worthwhile for $100. Like like I do think, especially just for saturation, the mellow tape thing has a lot of other things. Yeah, the Spectre is definitely better off the bat. Like I really like the Spectre. Less like mix bus, more individual tracks. The Spectre is not really for mix bus stuff. Although, let me try it. I've never actually tried it. I don't even know how I would actually go about using it as like a mix bus saturation. I guess by doing this.
so perfectly. I love myself effortlessly. I found it. You know I found it. Working hard so earnestly. Down running from uncertainty. I found it. You know I found it. I found me.
Honestly, that actually sounds pretty good too. I've never thought to do that.
So perfectly, I love myself effortlessly. I found it. You know I found it. Working hard so earnestly. Down running from uncertainty. I found.
I've never done that before. I've never actually used it for some sort of like mix bus type processing. I always use this for individual tracks and then use something else for mix bus or more general bus saturation. Oh, Driz, very interesting to tune them. Been missing that lower mid range from the ATCs 2 in the Strauss. Yeah, if you just add that lower mid range in, it honestly, I like them a lot now. And I went back to listen to some ATCs, both the 45. Well, 45s in Studio A are always in there, but I went to listen to some 25s as well. And yeah, it's if you dial in that lower mid range, then everything else about the Strauss is just better at that point. I use a Spectre to boost fundamentals in the key of the song. I use Spectre to boost fundamentals in the key of the song by 0.33 on the mix bus. Dope. Okay, that's a cool idea. I'd have to look it up what it is.
I found it. You know I found it. Working hard so earnestly. Down running from uncertainty. I found it. You know I found.
Yeah, so there's definitely some mix bus usage on there. I wonder if there's any. Oh, there's no presets. Is there any presets? Use dark mode. Oh, that's cool. But I'm a light mode kind of guy. Except for Pro Tools, because light mode in Pro Tools still looks like ass. Light mode in Pro Tools still looks like Windows 98. It's just not good. Aesthetically speaking, it just doesn't look cool. Hold on. UI theme. Classic. Yeah. It just doesn't look modern at all. And the dark is like, alright. It's alright. Like, I still think some of the other DAWs have better. There's actually a company that I was looking up that does like, hold on. That does skins. Oh, here you go. Creation. This is something cool. If I were to use Logic, I would check this out. Look at this. You can do different skins for Logic. Hold on. Where's the different designs? Hold on. What happened to it? What the heck? Go back. Logic Pro. Download start themes. Okay, let's look at this. I think this is it. You can download these, and I don't know if these are free or if only some of them are free, but this is really cool. There's a bunch of different preset skins for Logic. I thought this was super interesting. I wish that there was a lot of like customized dark vivid. That one looks cool. There's a lot of like cool ones too. This one looks like Reason. Oh yeah, Reason for Logic. Studio One for Logic. The Neve, the SSL. Oh, this is SSL. That looks more like a Neve colorway though. That's funny. Spectre. This is like So the reason why I discovered this is because I saw Kush Audio on like the UBK after hours videos on YouTube. I saw him using a custom skin. I was like, dude, that's dope. This is the Neve one. Neve looking. They have a lot of cool different skins here. Although none of these, I don't think I would ever use any of these, to be honest. Like, these are really cool. I don't know, but all of these makes me realize how good the original design was. How well thought out the original colorway is. I'm super picky with colors. It'd be nice to just do something like this where it's like more blue focused rather than... Although I would do pink focused, let's be honest. Or purple focused. Almost. This is too much. That's too much. solid. This looks like, you know what this colorway reminds me of? This colorway reminds me of this plugin. Almost. It's a little bit different. Almost. Like I'm yellow base. Speaking of fundamentals, is there an easy way to distinguish the fundamental versus overtones and harmonics? That's more. It totally depends too, because the how he does it specifically, I think you should ask Driz, because the fundamental, it totally depends on the instrument and the range, what the fundamental is. Because you could be doing the fundamental being around like the low sub frequencies, like 20 to 40 hertz ish area. That's technically the fundamental for the bass, for the low end. So it's a good question. Good question for Rodriz. Speaking of fundamentals, okay, Mama112, a little off topic, but what do you think about immersive audio mixing now that Logic supports that now? I think it's awesome that Logic supports that. In fact, I think every other DAW needs to catch up. But here's my thoughts. This is actually, what am I going to call it? It's the, these guys have a great video.
A short while ago,
these guys have a great video about why we're going to actually, I think that this is super informative. Where is it? The truth about Dolby Atmos, is it worth it? I'm not going to watch the entire thing.
In this video, we're going to take a deep dive into Dolby Atmos for music, and hopefully some of the information we've been researching should help you guys at home decide Atmos room that has budget two-way near fields. It just won't happen.
So he's talking about, so first of all, the first reason why they say why we don't want to do Atmos or immersive audio for mixing, specifically for mixing, not for listening, but for mixing, is because one, it's just way too expensive and the demand is just not there yet. It's cheaper if anybody just rents a studio to mix immersive audio rather than to just do it all themselves and build a whole immersive audio like an Atmos studio themselves. So that's the first thing. I'm skipping over that bit.
But would it be a wise investment? Is there money to be made?
For us, no. And there's one key reason for that. We're not mixing commercially. I'm a mastering engineer, and for now, at least, a dedicated mastering engineer for Atmos isn't really a thing. And that's because
It kind of is. This is one thing I did disagree with. There are mastering engineers. They master in Atmos or in stereo, so it's kind of like an add-on. So they don't master just in Atmos. But mastering engineers especially are, as of right now, I see the main thing. Like, because I know a lot of people that mix Atmos in headphones, and then they send it to an Atmos mastering engineer. So that's a pretty common thing to do.
you have at least 12 channels of audio to deal with, and the multiple channels don't go through any kind of bus. So it doesn't work in the same way as traditional mastering because there's no equivalent of the stereo bus. This is largely taken care of at the mixing stage, although everyone I've spoken to and most of the guys on the Pure Mix Atmos panel...
Sorry, I really cannot. Humans talk too slow for me.
...videos all agreed it would be good to be able to hand off your mix to a Atmos mastering engineer for that valuable first listen from a second set of ears, and to ensure you're sticking to Dolby's strict loudness guidelines.
Who's in favor for having an Atmos mastering?
All right, but I know. Okay, this is the part that's important. This is the part, because you see Andrew Shep's in here.
Sticking to Dolby's strict loudness guidelines.
Who's in favor for having an Atmos mastering, stage that we can just hand it off to like we do for stereo?
Totally.
Oh, I would love
most
that.
of us would say yes, please. As long as they're, like you said, not going to be messing up your mix, which is
right.
Yeah.
So as things stand at the moment, I don't have a place as a mastering engineer in the Atmos world, although Andrew thinks it may be coming. So why am I not interested in jumping on the bandwagon and getting into Atmos mixing? Well, here's why.
Because as far as I know, and certainly in my world, I mean, obviously my stereo mix fee is all over the place. I don't have a set fee at all, not even close. Every project is different. Every project's a negotiation. But in general, the Atmos mix budget is between a third and, if I'm really lucky, half of a stereo mix budget, especially if you're doing the mixes at the same time. They've allocated a certain amount of money for the stereo mixes, then the label is pushing them to get an Atmos mix as well. They've spent all their money. They spent all the money before they even got to me to mix the stereo. Forget about the fucking Atmos. So now the Atmos is like the stepchild that has to be delivered. Like, oh, by the way, you're having twins. Like, oh, right. So they figure, well, you're already in the operating room, so just yank the Atmos mix out at the same time, right? There's no big deal to that. And then if you're doing one from stems, if you're lucky enough to get stems that actually seem like the mix, then like, oh, well, that's no big deal. We've already given you the stereo mix, basically. Like, but it is, as we've been talking about, it's a huge deal to do these mixes. But that's my experience in terms of mix rates, but also in terms of time. I know that there are some places who are trying to get these things going, and they will set up guidelines for how long you should be spending. And they're saying like 3 hours, you know.
So for us, as a commercial venture, Atmos would be a really bad idea at the moment. If I had a ton of labels I work for in
the really good reason is towards the end here. I'm trying to find it.
Thinks they're not selling it. Apple are including it with a standard spatial audio automatic, no extra cost. It's not just a big marketing exercise for labels to resell existing catalogue. But going back to what Steve Jenner...
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? That's important. So right now, the way that things are going, Atmos is not an added price. It's not an added fee. So right now, it's mostly just deployed to get labels to pay more for the service. Did you hear that?
Automatically at no... They're not selling it. Apple are including it with a standard Apple Music subscription. And if you already have one of those, then you can listen to spatial audio automatically at no extra cost. It's not just a big marketing exercise for labels to resell existing catalogue. But going back to what Steve Jenner said, maybe there is a way we could make money.
Near as I can tell, the only people making money off it right now are speaker manufacturers and interface guys.
Yeah, more speakers. That's the answer.
Yeah.
We think the only commercial opportunity for us at the moment would be to utilize our YouTube channel and to hook up with a speaker manufacturer who would be interested in setting up an Atmos demo room in order for us to do a series of videos.
Yeah, they're like basically pitching like, yo, give us Atmos setup right now.
Easily one a demo for the up system is, but also time.
Well, Apple are making huge strides with spatial audio. It's free if you already have an Apple Music subscription, and the AirPods Pro and AirPods Max have head tracking built in, so that aids with the head transfer function, the movement of the head our brains depend upon in order to more reliably tell where in space sounds are coming from. And that technology will only improve over time, and that's why it's important to be working on an Atmos speaker system at the moment, because that is currently the only way to get the full effect. And in 30 years time, we don't want people to be saying, oh, remember those Atmos mixes of the early 2020s? Oh God, all those guys that were just working on headphones. There are also soundbars from companies like Sonos with their Arc, which
this is important. This is the most important part that I'm trying to get to,
as well as a sub, and gives a pretty cool version of Atmos, albeit without the height. But there is one huge problem at the moment, and that is that if I've just spent £150,000 on an Atmos system and want to listen to some Atmos mixes that are already out there via Apple Music, Tidal, or any of the other streaming services offering them, I can't. Well, okay,
this is true.
I can, but I need to spend even more money. A lot more money. The cheapest way currently is to buy something with an Atmos chip in it and an HDMI out, so something like the latest generation of Apple TV. That HDMI out then needs to go into something like a Marantz AV8805, which is just under £4,000, and that sends the audio out to my speakers. But I'd need to unplug my speakers from my working interface setup into that each time I wanted to listen to a commercially released track. So there's something like the JBL SDP55, which is £5,500 and offers Dante connectivity. I've been buggering around with the Atmos renderer using headphones, and I'm just going to stick to doing that at the moment.
So it's exciting times for the audio world, and we really do hope Dolby Atmos takes off, because when you hear a great mix on a properly want to go of music, huge scary out to go after will come.
Where does he? Oh, he didn't really. Okay,
Evolving
must have been some place out of the video. But he basically says it's just not worth it because even as a consumer, you can't really listen to it right now. Like everybody's just doing it on headphones anyway. So the idea of reason why you might want to be doing it right now is because there's no way for the consumer to listen to it really anyway. So it's kind of this. It's not a fluke. It's not some like weird, magic. I think it may be good, but right now there are no cheap, affordable ways for the consumer to partake in the enjoyment of Atmos other than in headphones, which it's not meant for headphones. Like it can downsample to headphones, but it's like, what I'm saying, that's not the real experience. So it's one of those things. It's just not right now. It's just not scalable, and it's just not available to the public. And it is definitely more marketing right now that is causing engineers to want to spend money on Atmos because there's just not many people that are interested in it right now. It's this cool new technology, and people are talking about it. But you should invest your money into NFTs and to Bitcoin than into Atmos right now. Honestly speaking. So that's my thoughts about that. And more important, it's more like my curated thoughts explained by somebody else.
No excuses, just
all right. Let's see. How's everybody doing? Are we sticking in there? Is everybody still? Wow. We got coming back to this. Sorry, we were totally doing talking about this mix, or not this mix specifically, but like vocal stacking. Yeah, this is just super useful information. Right now, as far as Atmos goes, I would not worry about that. The only person that's listening right now that should be worrying about Atmos are people that are already talking to labels that have work lined up, have been already going to other studios to do Atmos, and the promised income, the potential income, has already been set. It's not one of those things that you buy and then they will come. It's one of those things where if they're already coming, then it's good to buy. It's not one of those things where if you buy it, they will come. It's not. That's just kind of what it is. Can you go over how you use the Magic Death? I just want to make sure I use the controls properly. Yeah, it's super simple. So let's put it on the lead vocal here at the end of it.
working hard for my everything fits so perfect.
So here's the threshold. So adding input will obviously make it louder. And then it'll also saturate it a bit more. So the mono version, which is faster and has a slightly different compression curve than the stereo version. I actually like the mono version more. If you want to saturate it more, you just turn it up.
Everything fits so perfectly.
And then I'll turn it down. I'll compensate with the output volume here.
Everything fits so perfectly. I love myself effortlessly.
It's already compressing it. You can hear it kind of compressing it a little bit.
Everything fits so perfectly. I love myself effortlessly. I found it. You know I found it. I found me. Working hard so earnestly.
You can really hear adding that low mid thickness, that saturation, that low mid tubey thickness here. And then if you want to compress it.
Everything fits so perfectly. I love myself.
And these are your attack and release times. This is very Fairchild-esque. So 1 is fast attack, fast release. 4 is slow attack, slow release. And 2 and 3 are in between. D1, if I'm not mistaken, is dual release. So it's dual release. That means left and right have different release times based on their own thing. And I think this one's faster than this one.
Everything fits so perfectly. I love myself effortlessly. I found it.
They're both slow though.
You know I found it. I found it.
I think D1 is slightly slower, slightly faster release. And then this has the one thing that's different from the Fairchild is that you actually have a variable attack as well. But I leave it around 1 or 2 for vocals.
Everything fits so perfect.
Oftentimes I'll put it into punch mode too. So this is specifically with the mono version. You could put it into punch mode, which changes the compression aggression. Oh my gosh, that sounds so good. The compression aggression, yeah, that changes the compression aggression.
Everything fits so perfectly. I love myself effortlessly. I found it. You know I found it.
Yeah, usually when I pull it up, I leave all this stuff. If it's not vocals, then I'll turn on the high pass filter. But I'll leave it on 2 or 1 or 3, and then just turn up the.
Everything fits so perfectly. I love myself effortlessly. I found it. You know I found it. I found me. Working hard so earnestly.
There's a dry wet knob too, if you want to mess with that.
Everything fits so perfectly. I love myself effortlessly. I found it.
And this is already like compressed, so I'm just putting it at the end of the vocal chain. So it's not really a good example here, but
Everything fits so perfectly. I love myself.
I think the faster release actually sounded better after. Like this one, you can kind of hear the pumping.
Everything fits so perfectly. I love myself effortlessly. I found it. You know I found it. I found me. Working hard so earnestly. Done running from uncertainty. I found it. You know
Here's the aggressive compression.
I love myself effortlessly. I found it. You know I found it. I found me. Working hard so earnestly. Done running from uncertainty. I found it. You know I found it. I found me.
Yeah, man, this is one of those I actually do love writing music. This is totally like, imagine this on like Disney end credits. Like a Disney film end credits.
Everything fits so perfectly. I found it. Found me.
Love yourself. That's a Disney end credits. I'm really proud of this one. As far as like, because this is actually one of the few, for anybody that missed it, I actually produced and recorded this song. So this is my song that is unreleased, totally unreleased. So that's my voice, and production is, instrumentation is done by members of Outdonesia. Got the keys player Jonah on keys, Law on bass, and me and Law on guitars.
No
Totally like, exactly, right? Like this is super Disney ending credits. Probably like songwriting wise, so because I got into engineering via songwriting. Like I write songs for myself. I was in a band, and then I got into engineering, and then I'm coming back into the songwriting just a little bit. But let me talk about this real quick. Okay, check this out. So FMLA. Like songwriting wise, Mixmedic, I know that you're doing like a lot of tweets about songwriting and lyrics and stuff. This is probably my favorite song lyrically. It's like kind of corny, random like love song, but it's not like super ultra deep, but it's just like clever. I just like this one a lot. This is like very, very much like Burna Boy inspired, very much Afro pop inspired. This is like one of my favorites that I've ever written. The last song, there is no release date yet. There's no release date yet. I'm hoping that I need to finish a bunch of other stuff before I actually get to a release date on that. Check this one out. This is like one of my favorites.
Your voice is like silk, yeah. Say my name just like that. Your skin is so smooth, yeah. One touch and I'm a dead man. I'm a dead man. Never how you move through my heart like that. Every time we touch, I get a heart attack. Pressure on your spine, so we should take it slow. How can I resist when you drop it low, yeah? Take a little sip of my red wine. Let your heart go, it's time to unwind. You've been working hard, I got respect for you. Killing me softly is what you can do. Like fire, get too close, I burn. In the room, can't avoid ya. One look and I'm a dead man. I'm a dead man. Your voice is like silk, yeah. Say my name just like that. Your skin is so smooth, yeah. One touch and I'm a dead man. I'm a dead man. Raise your hand if you got the secret. Hold it tight, I need you to keep it. Say one word and I'll need no treatment. Say 3 words and I'll die a sweet death. Take a little sip of my red wine. Let your heart go, it's time to unwind. You've been working hard, I got respect for you. Killing me softly is what you came to. Like fire, get too close, I burn. In the room, can't avoid ya. One look and I'm a dead man. I'm a dead man. Your voice is like silk, yeah. Say my name just like that.
I love this one.
Your skin is so smooth, yeah. One touch and I'm a dead man. I'm a dead man.
Here's a bridge.
Every day you move different. New ways to say you into me. Burn out just like a filament. Can you see my predicament? I just want you close to me. No flames, just ecstasy. I don't care about your tendencies. I don't wanna be your enemy. Your heart is like fire. Get too close, I burn.
And then I have huge stacks at the end yet, so it's gonna explode.
I'm a dead man. Your voice is like silk, yeah. Say my name just like that. Your skin is so smooth, yeah. One touch and I'm a dead man. I'm a dead man. Your voice is like silk, yeah. Say my name just like that. Your skin is so smooth, yeah. One touch and I'm a dead man. I'm a dead man.
That's one of my favorites. That's definitely one of my favorites. This is one that we never finished. It's literally just a hook. I was writing lyrics and we were talking about food. The lyrics here are hilarious. We were talking about food and then we're like, it's too corny. We got to scratch it. So it's literally just a hook. But I thought it was hilarious.
Girl, you're looking like a sweet thing. Got me melting like a sundae. Got me rising like a souffle. But all I'm getting is a toothache. All the boys want your milkshake. Go digging on my cheesecake. Yeah, it's nice to have a cheat day. But all I'm getting is a toothache.
So it's actually clever. It was nice to have a cheat day, but all I'm getting is a toothache. It's clever, but it's too corny. We never finished it. That's all we got with it. Ariel Lopez on Instagram says, as a singer, what's your favorite mic? That is a good question. What is my favorite mic? Personally speaking, of all time, no budget at all, C12. C12. Vintage C12. For sure. Vintage C12 microphone. We're not talking about this one. We're talking about the $20,000 AKG C12. The Telefunken C12 is dope too, but I'm talking about the AKG C12. The original C12 is my favorite, all-time favorite microphone. One that I'm using right now is what I use a lot, probably the most, is the Latin Audio LS208. This is one that I'm using right now. So it's a front address, so it's not a side address. So I don't sing into it from the side. I sing to it like a dynamic microphone, like from the top. It's a really tight polar pattern. It's meant to be kind of like shotgun-esque. So it's really great if you want that condenser tone, that really bright, high-fidelity condenser sound, but without the sensitivity of a condenser. So like usually if you have a really nice condenser microphone, then you can really hear the room noise, the ambiances, and the different sounds in the room. So it actually makes it sound really like not as good because you hear everything. That's why a lot of times people use like the SM7B, which is a really great dynamic mic. But the problem with dynamic mics is that in order to make like a pop sound, like a really bright vocal, you have to do crazy tons of EQ manipulation, which is dope. So I'd rather have a really nice starting point with a condenser, which has a lot more top end to begin with, so I don't have to manipulate the audio as much. This is actually my favorite working mic. Working mic, by far my favorite. And you just take this off, and now my voice is just slightly brighter, and you just give it a little bit of distance, and now the voice sounds really, really good. It's got a bunch of built-in filters as well. The reason why I leave the foam on when I'm streaming is because of the plosives, like the p and buzz versus b, like it just kind of explodes. So I leave that on. But it's a really, really nice, tight polar pattern, very less sensitive, very much not sensitive to like room noises. So if you're less than ideal acoustic spaces, really great. What's the best Loofs? No Boys on YouTube says, what's the best Loofs volume to master at? What is the best Loofs and volumes to master at? Thanks for following Cam_K Bass. Appreciate it. Zero LUFS is the ideal LUFS. I don't know what the answer is. What is the best? It totally depends on the song and the arrangement and the mix. Totally depends. There is no set answer. I would say if you have like a thick, regular, like lots of, like for example, like a classical song versus like an acoustic folk song without a bass, or even acoustic folk song with a bass, versus like a hip hop track with all it is just 808s, versus a hip hop track where there's only 808s in the chorus and not in the verses at all. It's going to be wildly different for each song, so there's no answer. But I think that the only good answer for that question is as loud as possible without losing the emotions and the dynamics. For example, here's an example of a bad mix. A bad mix is when it hits the chorus. Actually, I could play something for you. This is something that I did years ago of that perfectly talks about dynamics. And this is not a bad mix, but it's a less than ideal mix. This is an old one. In fact, let me go to this is my old studio. Let me see if it's still on here. I've kind of like franchised this studio, which is kind of funny. Okay, sweet. So before and after. So check this out. Oh. Okay, it's gone. All right, never mind. Hold on. This is my old studio. Now, Cold Out Studio is my old Utah studio. I'm not there anymore. But I had a playlist here. This is a funny picture. All right, but check this out. So here's before and after. I had a before and after playlist. Okay, here it is. Wait. There it is. Okay, sweet. So check this out. Before. Dope song. Cool. Really good songwriting. This band is doing actually really well. They've continued going. Lucky day. Is it me or did that swine just listen to the chorus? What this is right now is the verse. Same volume. Here comes the hook. It doesn't change at all. So dynamically, it just doesn't change. That's really boring. So, because of that, this is a mix thing. This one's less about the loofs and the volume, but this is a really great example of a lot of artists and mixers in the earlier stages definitely compress and limit their songs too much, where they lose the dynamics. Like the chorus just doesn't hit hard. Like the mix hits harder than the master. That's the thing. So you want to get it as loud as possible while still maintaining the intended emotions of the song. So for example, here's my mix. I did this years ago. So this is not my best mix, but I did this years ago. Listen to the dynamic difference.
So not everything's quite right. Now I've got everybody watching as I move like Jackson. Just you and me, and suddenly I'm not as cool as him. I would say you.
So like dynamically a lot better. And like the bass came out a little bit, and yeah, that is just like, so this is a perfect example of what dynamics can do. So you do want to keep the dynamics, especially in like jazz, classical, folk type stuff where it's all about the dynamics. Definitely, for sure. I think the only other thing you do want to squish, except for those specific genres, jazz, classical, and some folk type stuff, with any sort of like pop, hip hop, R&B type stuff, I would actually recommend squishing it enough and removing the dynamics though enough that the listener doesn't have to turn the volume from the verse to the chorus. I think that's another bad thing where it's so dynamic and the sections are so different where the listener has to turn up the volume during the verses and turn down the volume during the chorus. Like, so functionally the limiters and the compressors are supposed to make it relatively consistent. So the best in the middle ground is to remove the dynamics enough where functionally it's relatively the same volume, but not remove it so much that you lose the emotional value in the dynamics and the dynamic differences. That's super duper important. But yeah, let's see. Yeah, so this Cold House is still in operation. It is now, so I'm still the owner. It is now being run by my friend. Cold House Studio is in Utah. It's a recording studio in Utah. And is now just being run by my friend Zach Borman. So I'm basically just franchising the brand to him. So I have like meetings with him every quarter and help him kind of utilize the brand that I built and help him get more clients in. And then basically I get a commission from anything that he gets in because of my work. Instead of kind of starting his own brand, I lease him my brand and systems. So that's kind of what that is. So we had like live videos at one point. We have a lot of cool stuff recording. Let me see. It's been a minute since I've actually... Okay, so this is actually super out of date. We're losing clientele for sure from that. Okay, this is me personally. Request a quote. Okay, this is my website. My current website right now. Check that out. It's a lot cleaner. Some cool names there. Some really cool stuff here. All right. Yeah, free stuff. There's always free stuff if you want to type in. I think if you type in free stuff, does free stuff work? It doesn't work. But if you want free stuff, you can go to links. I have PDFs and different things. Also business resources. This is like kind of like my sponsor list. So if you actually use any of these links, if you use any of them and purchase anything, I get a little kickback. And I get a little kickback and make some money off of that. So I appreciate you. And on talking about that, let me do a 30-second pitch on if you have Amazon Prime. If you are on Amazon Prime, you're paying for Amazon Prime, you have one free subscription to give away every single month on Twitch. And usually you have to pay like at least $5 a month to subscribe to a channel on Twitch. But if you have Amazon Prime, you can do one a month for free. And what I'm asking you is that if you have Amazon Prime, type in !Prime, connect your Amazon account to your Twitch account, and subscribe to me for free. Because then I make a couple bucks for free. And you don't have to pay a single dime. So just reminding you, subscribe for free with Amazon Prime. All right, dope. But yeah, this is kind of my old studio. So we had a lot of cool things. Like we had a studio album. In 2019, I did an album where I had a bunch of interns that were coming from a local university in Utah. And so these interns, I put them into teams and I had them record a different artist, local artist, and mix it all themselves. So this whole Cold House collaboration album was made and recorded totally by the interns, and they did such a great job. Recorded all at Cold House Studio. The Wanna Go is also doing relatively good recently. So for anybody that listens to the podcast and says and hear me say I don't do rock, I have actually a surprising amount of experience working with bands, because that's local music in Utah during that time was mostly when I was like kind of learning and growing my brand was mostly like rock. So some form of rock. So this is let me take it further. This is more like rap. This is dope. The interns did a really good job.
My therapy, help me to forget about my limits and my business route. Let me share my story with you for a couple minutes.
This is really dope. This is really cool. This is a really cool project. We've been wanting to do that again here in LA. We just haven't been able to have time, and the COVID thing is just really stupid. We're gonna get around to it for sure. You want to hear some music that I wrote in Japanese? I wrote some music in Japanese a while ago. This is actually one of my favorite ones I wrote in Japanese. Can't release this one. Beat got sold.
Every night I fall asleep, FaceTiming you. My guy, psych,するときに Fancy dinner with me, every night is free. Every celebration, a business destination. No time for explanations, ganbare expectations. Oh, you my favorite, living life like
this is my friend.
They wanna get everything, yeah. Be feeling that I can't explain. Work hard, work hardly. None of the ain't ready for me. Read my mind when I was feeling lonely. Lifestyle ain't just for me. Got my day. Underlay. Gotta get money at the end of the day. Work, don't need, tell me what you work. Baby, you just short through your work. No need to try, no lie. He's at the battle with my mind.
how? Okay, so this is a good question, and I don't know how I'm going to answer this, but we're going to find out. How do you sell beats in general? Not in general, but you personally. How do I sell beats? Okay. I don't sell beats. I'm not a beat maker. I'm not a producer like that, so I don't usually sell beats. I usually help. What I do is, as an engineer or as a songwriter, I go into the studio and I sell other people's beats to clients. So I like take a commission from like taking a finder's fee type thing. I've done that before, but it's very rare that I sell my beat because I don't make beats. The only time that I really make beats is for my own songs. And so, because I'm just not a beat maker. I just don't really, making beats is not something that I find cathartic. Anyway, but with that, usually how it goes, when I do sell a beat like for someone else, the most common scenario is the artist is in the studio and they're like, man, I need new beats. And they're like, and they're looking through their own beats and be like, bro, do you have any? Because I'm not finding any that I like with my beats from the ones that I have. And then I'm like, yeah, let me send you some. And then we listen to some beats. This happened literally yesterday. Wait, no, it's Thursday. Sorry, it happened 2 days ago. Yeah, man, let me show you some beats from some of the interns and some friends that I work with. And check that out. Listen to the beat. And he liked it. So I think they're going to negotiate something later. I think that's what's going to happen. And yeah, so that's kind of how it usually goes. Even with my friend who I did, it never released, so it's technically not a full placement. But I had a buddy of mine when I was working with Trey. I had a buddy send a beat to Trey Songs who actually ended up recording on it, but that song never released yet. I don't know if it will. Hopefully it will for the sake of my friend. But that's totally how it goes. Like usually befriend an engineer or become an engineer temporarily, like a tracking engineer, and you can sell them yourself oftentimes if you're wanting to work with rappers. But there's I will say selling beats and songs to rappers is a whole different way of doing business than selling beats and songs to pop artists and like different genres. Except for in the label game. In the label game, like it's a lot more professional, but like in the independent rapper game, it's more like, yo, sometimes it's just royalty, sometimes it's totally upfront, it's totally random, it's usually on the spot, you got to be there, it's better if you're the engineer. But for label type like pop production, different style, different culture, the traditional route is more through the A&R, through the label, through pitches. You do a lot of pitching. So like for these songs that I just showed you, the one that I landed, it was a total like pitch. It could have gone nowhere. So I just like pitched the music. And usually these like beat makers and producers have management, but they get management because they landed something big. So you usually don't get a manager until you have a big placement. So like for example, my buddy placed a song with Pooh Shiesty. It was specifically the song with Pooh Shiesty featuring Gucci Mane. So that was a pretty big record. And because he landed that record, all of a sudden now he has really nice management, which is pitching his music to other stuff, but he's still doing a lot of the work himself. So it's not just him doing stuff. Just stopping the Instagram live video because it was my phone was wigging out. Yeah, so it's totally all over the board. There's no real way to do it. eDoggy21. What up, Evan? Sorry. I know this is going to be really lame. This is Evan. What up, Evan? I know a bunch of Evans. Which Evan are you? How do you sell beats? Okay, hopefully that answered that question. I think that kind of helps a lot. It's kind of like all over the board. Honestly, in the independent game, it's really unprofessional. It's just kind of all over the place. There's really no way to do it. And even in like the pro like label game, it's still relatively unorganized. I will say that the music game is just really confusing. It's really difficult, and there's not as much money in it as people think, which is why people screw each other over, take advantage of each other. It's because they're like, they owe me $250,000. Well, yeah, they technically owe you $250,000, but unfortunately, the song didn't make enough money to give you $250,000. Like, it's music doesn't make as much money as people say it does, as people think it does. And that's just the part with like with entertainment in general. Entertainment, like, you have to inflate the big, like, it has to become a big deal as far as entertainment and news. Oh, what up? Awesome. Thanks for coming through. Appreciate it. We're actually about to close out for the day. I gotta do what do I have scheduled today? Actually, let me pull this up. Where the heck is it? There you go. My calendar. Okay, I gotta go to the DMV at 12:30. That's what it is. At the DMV at 12:30. Then I got the haircut. I got a haircut at 3. I'm finally getting a haircut. My hair's getting long. I got to get going pretty soon. I'll probably sign off in about 10 minutes. Is there anything else that y'all want to listen to or any other questions that y'all have? I'm more than happy. I mean, if we don't have anything, I could show you. I could talk about my books. But I talk about my books almost every stream because I'm trying to self-promote my books. It's something that my wife and I do. My wife and I, we write books. Let's see here. Ooh, hold on. This is a really good song. I did a super... What up, Chase? That's cool you met Bryson. He sold me some ISO stands this week. Yeah, Bryson's really cool. I like Bryson. He's my business partner's business partner. All right, hold on. I've been making a lot of reels recently. My goal this year is to kind of get over myself and my fear of being in front of people. And I'm not trying to be like a celebrity necessarily, but I've been doing reels every single day. I'm not trying to be famous. I'm just trying to get, overcome my... This is so dumb. This is the dumbest one I've ever made. I'm so sorry that you were about to watch this, but this is important that I bring this up.
Hey, Spider-Man, thank you for saving me, I'm a big fan of yours, and you know what? I actually make music. If you want to just listen to this beat, I got this song. I think it's perfect for the scenario because I was coughing the other day, and I just want to let you know something. I think you got it too now, huh? Yeah. I got the cut on now. You got the cut on now. Hey.
So really, really dumb, but for some reason that one actually performed really, really well. My best performing one is my lamest one here.
That much 'cause it took me years to master. You're free to try if you think you do it faster. But it would likely turn out shit 'cause you simply haven't practiced it. It cost that much 'cause it took me years to
So this one is hilarious because this time lapse is hilarious. I wanted to make a reel, and I wanted it to be like a classic time lapse with a funny song in the background or some funny or inspirational something that I can like scale and do with different sounds, right? The same video, different sounds. Anyway, I took this video. If I slowed this down, I literally pulled up a session and opened plugins and closed them. I do not touch any of the plugins. I literally am not mixing at all. If you ever watch me mix, I never pull up the mixer window. I only mix from the editor window. But the fact that you see me pulling up the mixer window, look, I'm literally just open plugins. You'll notice I'm not touching any of them. I'm just opening them, closing them, and scrolling around because I want to just look like I'm mixing something. Even with that EQ, I move it around, and then I undo it, and then I close it. Like, literally, it's just me. So the secret to this video is I'm not actually mixing, but this did really well for some reason. I'm just pulling up the plugins that I use in this session. Anyway, going back to that coronavirus one, this is the actual song. This is a real thing. I wrote this in 2019.
Hey, fool. I think I got the corona.
Jeez, fool, you forgot to wash your hands, dog?
Nah, fool. I ain't talking about no COVID-19. I'm talking about these ones.
Hey, fool, damn, you gotta share.
Of course, bro. Salud.
I've got corona. You got corona, yeah. Wash your hands up. I got the corona. You got the corona. We brought the corona. Keep your ass inside so we can party outside. I got the corona. You got the corona. We brought the corona. Keep your ass inside so we can party outside. Wash your hands at least 20 seconds. World go mad cause the virus keeps spreading. Everybody at a work quarantine. Social distance, dance 6 feet from me. Netflix can't handle the bandwidth. Instagram open 24/7. You're not gonna die but keep your ass inside. While me and my friends open bottles all night. Open bottles all night, yeah, yeah. Open bottles all night, yeah. Open bottles all night, yeah. Wash your hands, we gon' party all night, yeah.
Limón y corona, pase la botella. Una pa' la cena, boca se me seca. Una pa' el almuerzo, otra pa' la cena. Vamos pa' la playa, disfruta la vida. Ella, modela, le gusta la cerveza. Echa, echa, echa. Ven aquí, muñeca. En la pachanga ella baila. Tomando, tomando su chela. Se mira bien buena. Ojos lindos y bien bella.
I got the corona.
So that one, we did that for like a personal project. So that's actually on Spotify. It's called Coronavirus under the artist name Akamine. I had a little like group thing that we were doing. It was fun. That's my buddy. He used to be called Brutal Turn Brutal Legend, but now is Muay Taita. And he's got a really cool voice. In fact, I actually love his music because it's so damn weird. Hold on, I'm going to look this up. Hold on. We got to listen to some of his stuff. Oh, here he goes. Here he goes. He's way underrated, I think. I think his voice is crazy. Hold on. We got to listen to some of this stuff. Wait. Oh, this is dope too. He's got some weird music. I just love it so much. Come on, play the damn song. Come on, internet. Can't play the current song.
This one goes out to the ones that are shit-faced right now. The ones that were having the time of their life last night. They go like this.
I just wanna have fun. I just wanna have fun. I just wanna have fun. I just wanna have fun.
Yeah,
I just love this.
I believe in myself. I believe in my enter. I believe in myself. I believe in my enter.
I think it's so hard. And it's like really weird, and I love weird music.
I believe in myself, bitches. I believe in my what's up? I believe in myself. Shut the fuck up, you talk a lot. Better bless your ass like Kagura. I'm trying to chill on my Nimbus cloud. Let a man have his pee, shut your mouth. I don't disrespect.
This is hold on. There's one song. I think it's this one. No, it's Onomatopoeia. This is the funniest lyrics I've ever heard in my entire life.
Couldn't handle my fucking car. Left her, I kinda regret her. Love Jessie Reyes. Love having and she with me, then left fucking speakers like teriyaki.
Oh, here it is.
Encabronada. Me la como empanadas. Last night I ate pussy. Tastes like teriyaki.
What? Wait. What?
Me la como empanadas. Last night I ate pussy. Tastes like teriyaki.
It's so terrifying. It's so terrifying. It's so random. I love random shit like that. All right. On that note, I think I'm gonna sign off for today. We really appreciate anybody that came and said hi. What up, everybody? Appreciate you coming through. On that note, there's no other questions, nothing else. We're gonna go and I'm gonna sign off for today. Hold on, I wait to use this every single stream. I love this is my favorite animation that I use every stream. Oh, I gotta do it again. again. Frick, it wasn't on me. Hold on. I'll see y'all next time. Thanks y'all for stopping by. Have a great day. Enjoy yourself. Peace. Wait. I missed something super duper important. Linhart, are you still here? Linhart97, are you still here? Are you still here? In the chat. Are you in the chat still? I missed your bring your kids to work points usage. And I'm not going to let that slide. Hold on. Wait a second. Are you still here? Linhart97, use bring your kids to work point system. I have to honor it. That's like a whole 3,000 points. That's like the most expensive points that I have in my arsenal, in my like point system usage. So if you look at the bottom left-hand side of the chat, there's like mixing skill points. You can like highlight your message and do different things. For 3,000 points, I'll bring my kids. I'm telling you right now, Linhart, are you still here? Please be here. All right, I'm going to bring the kids. One time, hit the rainbow. One more time. Hit the rainbow. Wait, that's not the rainbow. Are you mad? That's the mad one? Say that again? Are you mad? Are you mad, Kaname? Are you mad? Are you mad, boy? Here, what's this one? Click this one. Click this one.
DK on the mix, bitch.
Say bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Say it one more time, louder.
Bye, Iggy Bobby.
Bye-bye. Peace.